Okay, yo, what's up, folks? Welcome back to our CI podcast. What does that mean, Abin?
It's the cultural podcast issue. Hey, what's up, folks? We're back with another one of our podcast, and I am your host Almulabin. Chilling here with my buddy, that the one and only Endrico Irawan. Welcome to CIA podcast.
Hey, Abin, what a lovely day today. So, now we will talk about the cross culture stuff. First up, we're gonna talk about language and culture. Abin, my dude, hit me up with your take on language. What's the scope you've got for us today?
Well, Endrico, languages are commonly spoken these days as a human being. We are born with the ability to interact with other social creatures. And in this case, we are gonna talk about a person. Um, it could be individual or even society. Language is the correct tool to connect each other thoughts. Millions of years ago, people didn't talk with language, but instead they are speaking language to communicate each other. Until finally, the two languages is met to clear this up. This language that we have spoken till now, but this language is influenced by something called culture. This one trade, tradition, belief. Culture create language and language represent culture.
That is absolutely true, my friend. Language and culture are two things that cannot be separated and they share an important role. Like they are bestie, Abin. Abin had mentioned that language is supposedly influenced by culture, so I assume language and culture may vary because there are about 5 to 6,000 languages in this world.
Hmm. 7,000 or more to be exact.
Yeah, around that, Abin. So now, could you imagine this, Abin? Like how many languages have humans cooked up throughout history? It's like a linguistic roller coaster, right? But here we are, cruising along on this crazy track. How do we keep up? Is like our brain or the ultimate multitasker, soaking up all these languages and keeping the communication train rolling.
Now, this is intercultural communication, my friend, and I'm exactly to people who are capable of answering this question. Let's invite our friends Dedi and Frans there into our studio. Okay, so here we are with our fantastic guests, Frans, Dev, and Dedi.
Yo, hello.
Hello, guys. Wow, this is so incredible. So, can you guys introduce yourself to the audience, please?
Hey. What's up, everyone? It's your boy, Dedi Ariansyah, in the house, just rocking my English education program. And I got my third degree on Hong Kong University back in December 2019. And now, I've been on this wild journey, traveling and dropping knowledge bomb wherever I go. And let's not forget, I'm also here with my best buddies, Frans Dave. We can call him Dave.
Okay, it's nice meeting you, Daddy. And how about your friend, Dave? May you introduce yourself to the audience, please?
All right. So hello everyone. Thank you for having us today. And my name is Frans Sepdiwan Marbun, and I'm a professor right now today. And I'm currently continuing my study in Harvard University. So I'm gonna take a third degree in linguistic language program, as you know, in Harvard University. That's a good campus. And I'm really excited. I'm really feel excited and funny today to be a guest here with the special host today with my best friend Dedi.
So, okay, I invite you guys today. Just I believe you guys are the perfect person to talk about intercultural communication. Have you ever had experience about how to communicate with people's culture?
Wow. Yes.
From you first, Dedi.
Okay. I think this is will be my time.
Yes, because we traveled to another country,
Yeah.
we get so much about the intercultural communication. So
Mhm.
let you explain.
Yeah. I think let's begin with me. Okay.
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 So it's a long story actually. In my journey to finish my education, I met a lot of people from different background and culture. So when I finished my first degree, I decided to continue my education outside of Indonesia. Well, why did I choose to go out of Indonesia? Uh, it's actually out of curiosity. And I realized that in order to learn someone's culture, including the way these people communicate, I have to blend with foreigners. So I went to Saudi Arabia to blend with them. It was so frustrating at first because the way they talk was so different from ours.
Wow, Daddy, that was a fantastic experience. You already traveled outside Indonesia
Yeah.
and also reached the stage to adapt with fragrance. What a great moments you had. So now I'm really curious about Dave. So how about you, Dave? Can you
Uh,
share your experience with us?
about the intercultural communication, honestly, I have some trouble in intercultural communication. So that in same case with Dedi, that
Mhm.
I'm travel to continue my right now to continue my third degree in Harvard University. So I have some incredible experience at Cambridge. The same problem like Dedi felt is I felt too. I meet with a lot of people in in my campus
Mhm.
and in my areas that people have a big different background and culture. Honestly, and I'm only one who excited to the scholarship to continue my career at Harvard University. So in the middle of my career or my study or my education
Mhm.
in process, I feel a lot of hardship to communicate with other people from the different background and different cultures. So I just wanna I just wanna greet someone with say hello and give us a very good smile and also try to keep my eye contact with people. But that people is really feel annoyed and feel that they not comfortably they not feel comfort when I talk to him to say hello or say to give my smile and make eye contact to them. So this I feel like this is some intercultural communication. I don't feel this thing in Indonesia. Indonesia is the
Mhm.
great place
Yeah,
that
you're
we
right.
You're right.
when we smile our friends will smile too. That's it. In Indonesia it calls us ramah tamah.
Yeah.
In Indonesia. So give a friendly smile and also try to keep eye contact is currently different. It's strange things I do in the Harvard in the Cambridge. So it's totally fine for me. And because I just think like we are people with different backgrounds, different country between the way we communicate with people.
Mhm.
I don't really take it serious about the intercultural communication, to be honest.
Yeah. I would say same as you, Dave. People might think that one abroad to overseas to another country to outside of your country, maybe it was a privilege. And we only enjoy how beautiful and how diverse the culture is. So, but when we come into this issue, intercultural communication, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So the culture will be influenced by the social perspective. We are the social person. We are the social. We will influence the culture, and the culture will also influence us. As like what Dev said before, smile towards people
Hmm.
and doing the eye contact
Yeah.
is perceived as uncommon in certain
Yeah.
countries, including United States.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there.
That's right.
And even when I'm continuing my study in Saudi Arabia, the people right there, they were also didn't want to have an eye contact directly because they prefer to avoid having a direct eye contact because when we are talking, they feel like it's rude and it is not appropriate to do direct eye contact. And yeah, unlike America, you know, people on Saudi Arabia do not move their hands so much.
Yeah.
And yeah,
But in your point of view, I think I totally agree with that. When we know, also in United States, we know when they're talking, their hands could not stay still. But in
Yeah.
Arabia, they
they
don't
just
like
stay like this and
stay, stay formal.
yeah, unlike America, they
But-
go, yeah.
Yeah, American people is actually use their hands when
Yeah.
they talk to
They
somebody.
use their hands a lot and
They always tend to do some gestures. Hand
Mhm.
gestures
Yeah.
is the way they interact or they communicate with other people. It's like that. It's the good facial experience for me because I really like American people make their gestures about their hands to their hands and their eye contact when we talk to their when we talk to them, and also their speaking intonation. Their
Mhm.
speaking intonation is also fast, and maybe they have a hand gesture and have the intonation, good intonation, but they still have as they still need personal space.
Yeah.
That's the way. That's the way
Yeah.
they interact to us.
Yeah.
Personal space is the most important because we call not getting close to them when we having a conversation.
So when you came into America, please don't get too close.
Yes.
Don't get too close when
I
when
agree
we
with
talk.
Yeah.
Okay, so after hearing you guys' stories, it seems that you guys may have some struggles living there, right?
Yeah.
Have you guys ever feel, I don't know, maybe like coming back right to Indonesia after facing that hardship?
Yeah, of course. The first month I live in Saudi Arabia, I feel I just want to go home really bad because I was still trying to be able to adapt to their culture, and there's still a lot of mistake I did when I talk in front of them. And yeah, this is actually the key problem of cultural communication. When we were making mistakes in front of them, especially in the way we communicate, it will create the misperception feeling towards them. And I feel this feeling, and also the people who are the same with me in Saudi Arabia, because we just have different way of communicating. And yeah, this perception will eventually make us feel uncomfortable, and we will have the awkward feeling. You know the awkward feeling, right?
I know, it's
Yeah.
I don't comfortable.
It's more
So the
complicated.
feedback from the conversation feels so bland. Did you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's like that is big, but we don't get the message, so we can't receive the meanings. I am assuming you guys probably feel awkward to each other, as strange as the moment.
I know that. I know that, Abin. That's right. That's correct, Abin. But guys, don't judge us because sometimes we feel like we're gonna back to Indonesia because we just like have a barriers to communicate with other people.
Yes.
We have some the name of intercultural communication. That's hard for us as a foreign people and from Indonesia goes to Arabia and goes to America. This what how to communicate to other people. We just don't understand them, and we got from misperception about them. So don't judge us people to say the different culture or different background is bad. But I just wanna tell some important point that we got is just stay understand about the perception. So that's okay if you cannot interact or communicate to other people because your perception, but the really most important thing is understand about the perception.
Mhm.
Don't think bad thing to other people because we are Indonesian people with a keyword is Rahma Tama. That's it. We are
Yeah.
Indonesian people, but all the barriers of my perspective towards the people in United States, from the barriers I have learned and having some a perspective there, it's more complicated to be more useful for me. So if we make a mistake to communication with different culture, we still can start to figure out to recognize the certain culture first for preventing. So for preventing the bad intercultural communication, and then and that's why will cause obstacles and blocking the good communication. But the way you talk and speak and communicate to other people with enough understanding of their certain culture, so we can also avoid the conflict.
Yeah, that's right.
We not get the intercultural communication, and we can avoid the conflict, and we keep building a good or a great relationship with other people, or with the different culture or different backgrounds to people, when feel acceptable communication style. That's it for me.
Wow, that's already fascinating part by Dedi and Dev, yeah. But of them already felt how exactly the feelings of communicate with foreign people and many other insights that we get here, right, Endrico?
Yeah, I mean that is true. We need to remember that we don't live alone. I can imagine their struggles when meeting new people. There are a lot of people right there who have various and different perspective and culture to us. So we need to understand that if we don't understand about the other culture, so our insight will be limited only from our own view. The other people will think negatively about you if you don't want to try to respect their culture. And that's incredible. Thank you for Daddy and Dave for coming to our podcast.
You're welcome.
It was really nice having you guys here.
Thank you, bro.
I know.
Yeah, and thank you for giving us the chance to share our experience. It was incredible.
About the intercultural
Yeah.
communication.
Intercultural communication.
So you guys that watch this podcast is the meaningful podcast for you. That's give you inform you about the some education about the intercultural communication, because we are a great speaker today. We learn from our experience, so we share our experience to you guys, and you guys have a knowledge about the intercultural communication, about the perspective of different culture and different backgrounds.
Yeah.
So take out the diversity, but even though we are different, so I think you guys special a very good host today, and I think I feel really proudly to come to this podcast and share my experience today.
But I think this is not what we are only discuss. The intercultural communication, Endrico.
Yes, Abin, that is true. So just like Abin said, this is not enough. How about we continue to dig deeper about the culture?
Wait. You have any guess today?
Yes.
Not only us.
No,
No,
guests.
no,
We
no,
have
no.
two more special guests.
Oh, two more special.
Yes.
What kind of
Yeah,
what kind of these guests wanna talk about? We are talk about intercultural communication, and this next guest is talk about
So the next guest will talk about culture shock.
culture shock and intercultural communication. That's two things that
Cannot be separated, right?
yeah. I feel I can explain about the culture shock again, but no. I think it's time to take away and take good for the next guest to explain about the culture shock. Thank you, Dedi, and thank you for Abid and Endrico for today. I hope you guys can be always be a great host today.
Yeah.
And thank you, Dedi.
Thank you,
and
thank
Dev.
you, thank you.
Okay, so now we will welcome another guest. Is that right, Endrico?
Yeah, Abin. So we now have Rizky in our podcast.
Well, hello everyone. Hello to host right
Hello,
there.
Rizky.
Yeah.
Rizky.
Mm.
We're doing great. How about you?
Yeah, it's really things is really wonderful right now. So how about you two?
Well, we feel the same as you, Rizky. So Rizky,
Okay. Yeah.
feel free to introduce yourself to the audience, please.
Well, okay. So to everyone who are listening right now, so my name is Rizky Kurniawan. Actually, right now I'm an anthropologist, which have a task to research some things that are related to the culture. So yeah, that's my job right now. So yeah, it's been an honor for me to be here as your special guest right now in this podcast, guys.
Okay, Rizky,
Mm.
we are proud for being able to invite you to this podcast. So, know what's that, Abin?
Well, sucks right now. We already listened to the Dedi and Dev explain about the intercultural communication. We know that encountering different culture is a bit difficult. So what we call this feeling actually? Can you explain a little more about this? Because this really matter. When we have a business, for example, to go abroad to overseas.
Well, so actually, this kind of feelings like we feel miserable and also unwell about these feelings. Yeah, we often call this culture shock. So basically, culture shock is that when we feel unokay about the cultures that we first time meet about that culture. So we feel that really strange. We feel that it's really rare to us, not suitable for us, and that's what we call culture shock. So yeah, this happen if we in the first time meeting about the cultures that were really new to us. Yeah, that's what we call culture shock. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Rizky, I get what you mean. So, actually, when we feel that way, what the things we feel after this? Like, what kind of things that will happen that caused by this culture shock feeling? I'm really curious because this is the key to understand how worse it would be from the culture shock.
Well, okay. So when we're first feeling feel these feelings like culture shock feelings, so we call it culture shock. So after we feel that feelings, we'll start hating about the cultures that we meet at the first time. We start hating about the culture. All of the stuffs about the cultures that are related to the new cultures that we meet, that we encountered, we start hate them all. So that's why we feel a lot of miserable, we feel a lot of strange, and yeah, that's why that's the cause that from having the culture shock feelings, I think.
Oh, alright. That was already traveled is so actually we just know about this kindlerism that will happen if we let this vision to stay.
But actually, how about the journey of this feeling, Rizky? Like from the start to the end of the culture shock, is there any stages or the phase that will build to this feeling step by step? If those steps were existed, can you explain it to us? Cause we all are really want to know about this feeling deeper.
Well, okay, so those journey, or we can call it stages, yeah. So this is the phase of the culture shock actually. So I will explain it a little bit. So actually, there are some stages that are available in the culture shock. So first, we started with the honeymoon phase. Yeah, like the name, honeymoon phase. We really like about the culture at first. So when we are encountering about when we are encountering about the cultures that we first meet about that culture, it's really fascinating. We are amazed with the culture. A lot of cultures, a lot of different foods, new foods, and a lot of adventures that we had. We enjoy that all, and that's the honeymoon phase. But then, after we felt that happiness, after we felt a lot of enjoyment after meeting the new culture, then we move into the negotiation. We move into the negotiation phase actually. So this kind of negotiation phase, we start feeling miserable. We start feeling strange and unokay, quote unquote, because we we kind of feel boring about the cultures. It feels so strange. It's a bit awkward. Maybe we perceive that a little bit awkward, and also it's sometimes offensive to our culture. We cannot the culture is not suitable to us. Uh, Not suitable to us as a person
Yes.
who actually been lived in another country. So the cultures of that country is not suitable to us, and that's the negotiation phase. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Well, that was very detailed, isn't it? Is
Yeah,
that
of
finished,
course.
Rizky? Or maybe there's still a phase that exists because I think it will be a adaptation phase in the first because it's really important in terms of culture shock. Is that true, Rizky?
Yeah, of course, that was true. Well, actually, after the negotiation phase, when we feel the negotiation phase, when we kind of acknowledge that we are in this phase, negotiation phase, like just you said, Endrico, there's a lot. There's the adaptation phase, but the adaptation phase is located at the end. So let me explain a little bit a little bit more. So after the negotiation phase, after we start feelings about negotiation phase, we start to feel the adjustment phase. Well, actually, this adjustment phase, we try to adjust about our culture next to the yeah.
This is so hard.
This is so hard, man, because it's not easy when we adjust with the new culture to us. We need to adapt. We need to adjust about our foods that related to the next with the new culture. We're not get used at once, but we try to be able to get used with the new cultures because we need to learn that. So that's the adjustment phase, and after that, that's what we what Enrico said before, which is the adaptations, or we can call it also the mastery phase. So we already 100% completely adapted with the new culture. So we're not feeling miserable anymore. We're not feeling okay anymore, and we just kind of having fun with the new cultures that we face. And yeah, that's the adaptation phase. That there are four phases that are available in this culture shock. So yeah, we need to understand it one by one, and after that, apply it to our journey when we have the abroad to the another country, to the overseas, when we want to have the holiday with family, yeah, kind of stuff like that. So it's really important to know about this.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is what is adaptation? What's it?
Well, absolutely true, but well, that's truly right. The adaptation stage is actually the way we blended ourselves to the host culture. We'll not face the difficulties anymore. So, yeah, we already be able to participate with the event maybe in that culture. So we participated on that event. So yeah, we feel a lot of enjoyment because we already get used with the new culture. So yeah, that's why we are not feeling miserable anymore. And yeah, that's the things I think, the adaptation phase, mastery and stuff.
Okay, that was really detailed, right, Abin? Well, what's your thought, Abin?
This is a need to adapt, to understand and make the broad effect of either. So last but not least, what the suggestion from you for the people who want to overseas, such as study abroad, traveling, and stuff like that?
Okay, so let me think. When you are wanting to go abroad to the overseas, to the another country, there's a lot of possibility that we need to adjust. We need to face a new culture on that country that we wanna go.
Yeah.
This is my advice: preparation. So actually, the preparation is that we need to learn the culture first. So before we want to go to the other country that we want to go, well, it's really nice for having a holiday or maybe go to the another country. It's really a great experience. But before that, we need to learn about the country first, because it's really important in order to blend ourselves into the country so that we can be acceptable with the society on that country. So actually, it's also good for us for avoiding the struggles or maybe mistakes that it might we might do that mistakes if we don't learn about the culture and stuff first. So that's why preparation is really important. Yeah, I think that's my advice. We need to learn that culture first, learn that language, try to speak on that language, on the host language that we need to learn the language of the country that we want to go. That's really important. So yeah, I think that's the things that really matter for now if you want to go to the other country.
Okay, that was an incredible explanation by Rizky. So Abin, now we know about what culture shock is. We also get a new insight about the stages of culture shock and even the suggestion for those who want to go overseas. Bin,
Yeah, that's right, Endrico. But what if we don't actually this kind of strategy that Rizky already said in the podcast? What will be happen if we ignore this stuff?
wow, that's interesting, and that what's exactly we want to discuss next, which contain the culture conflict. Abin, now we will call our last guest Arizal Akbar. Welcome back everyone to our podcast, and if you all think that our podcast is over, well, wrong. Do you know why, Abin?
Yeah, I know. It for sure what Eric. It because we still have one more guest that I saw for you guys.
Ooh, I'm very curious about our last guest for today, Abin. Can you tell me and
And also,
for the listener viewers about this last guest?
Eric. So our final guest for today's episode is no less special than our previous guest. We know him. He has an actually amazing background for us to look at today, and he currently has something of an advertise in the field he's working in now, and he's going to share his story, his experience, and share his knowledge with all of us.
What a way to make me and the audience even more curious, Abin, about who our last guest really is. Let's just call him Arizal Akbar.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Sup boys, it's such an honor to be invited to both of your podcasts, which can be said amazing, I guess.
Indeed, we are also glad to bring you here to share a lot of things that you've been doing for the last couple of years.
And those things that we really wanted to uncover is about cultural conflict. I am pretty sure you know this very well.
Yep, I'm very much an expert when it comes to cultural conflict.
So, Akbar, what makes you the expert when it comes to cultural conflict?
Well, maybe it's because of my journey to various countries in the world that has a different cultures, and also like somehow most of them are very diverse itself. And not to forget to mention that me myself is an Indonesian, which I live in a country that has so many ethnicities, so many cultures, and even so many native languages within it. So, including religion. So, uh, safe to say that I live pretty much often live amongst the diversity itself.
Wow, awesome. So, Akbar, let's get out with a story. Can you share a particularly conflict cultural conflict you encountered in your journey?
Well, absolutely. Try to picture this. There's a negotiation between two companies from a different cultures. The one side of the companies values timeliness and also a direct communication, while the other ones place the great importance on building a personal relationship and prefers like an indirect approach. It is like navigating a cultural maze where the missteps are inevitable.
Wow, the negotiation scenarios one like a total cultural minefield. How to hack that you navigate through the maze of difference?
Well, it requires a decoding unspoken cues, understanding the importance between like a face saving in one culture and the urgency of deadlines in one another. We had to build some sort of a bridge of understanding, try to find a common ground, and try to redefine a success beyond the immediate deals between two cultures.
Fascinating. Now, we often hear about cultural conflict on a global scale, but they can also play out in our day to play interaction. Any personal stories that come to mind?
Absolutely. I once found myself in a clash of a communication styles within a diverse team. Well, some members were direct and very assertive, and while the others leaned towards diplomacy and subtlety. The challenge was trying to fostering a culture when both voices are accepted and valued.
Juggling those dynamics must have been very tricky, Akbar. How did you bring harmony to the team?
Well, it requires to creating a space for an open dialogue, like celebrating diverse strength and fostering a culture where differences were seen as an asset rather than an obstacle. It wasn't about eliminating conflict, but turning it into a catalyst for creativity and also for innovation.
I love the perspective. Now, Akbar, you've talked about the importance of storytelling in understanding cultures. Can you elaborate on that?
Oh, yeah, sure. Um, Stories are a very powerful tool for cultural exploration. They reveal pretty much almost all the values, perspective, and the nuance of the human experience. By sharing the stories, we can break down stereotypes, like fostering empathy and uncover the common threads that connects us all.
Beautifully put. As we wrap up, what advice do you have for our listeners who may be navigating cultural conflict in their own life?
Well, mm, maybe try to embrace this like discomfort. Be curious and try to approach conflict with a sense of humility. It is through the messy and uncomfortable conversation that we truly uncover the richness of our shared humanity between one another. I guess that's it.
Wise words, my G. Thank you so much for sharing your insight and stories with us.
Well, you're welcome.
And here we are again at today's journey. I think that's all for today, guys.
Yeah, we got a lot of insight today. Thank you so much for you guys who have listened to our podcast.
And also thank you very much for the guests who share lots of insight to us.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. From their intercultural communication experiences, we talk about that a lot with Dedi and Dave, and also how we overcome culture shock with Rizky, who have shared his experience, and also what an insight too by Arizal Akbar, who shared his experience related to the culture conflict.
Yes, we hope that this podcast will be beneficial for you guys. Okay, I think that's truly enough for today.
Thank you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I am Endrico.
I am Almulabin.
Let's close this podcast 541, and we are from CI Podcast. Sign out and keep
Keep
respect.
Ini ada apa?
Nanti.
Jorok kali kan.
Wrong.
Ini ada apa?
You know why, Abin?
Yeah, I know. It's for sure. Why?
You're wrong.
Yang di bagian
Our podcast is over. Well, wrong. Aku baca wrong yang tahu.
We still have one more guest that we I saw to you guys.
See you.
In Harvard, salah Cok, belum. Kenapa aku di Oxford sama Harvard? Ulang dari oke, so hello.
What's up, folks? Welcome back to our CI podcast. What does that mean, Abin?
It's the cultural podcast issue.
Kok lagi, Bi?
lanjut.
Oh, yeah, lanjut.
Strange thing that we get into the topic or we communicate with other people.
Yeah.
But
Ulang dari Erik.
Okay.
So, Rizky,
Ah.
we are proud for being able to invite you to our podcast. So, what's that mean?
Yeah, Rizky. We're going to create. How about you? Ini pertanyaan aku dulu atau gimana sih, Rick?
Langsung ini jadi.
really feel annoyed and feel that they're not comfortably. And I'm currently continuing my study in Harvard University, so I'm gonna